Hey, what's going on, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their awakening process. And today I'm going to share with you 5 things I think you should know about this amazing and enlightening full moon we have here on August 22nd, 2021. Number 1, sort of a change of pace from what we've been experiencing, is slowing down to rest and heal. A lot of us have gone through so many changes in our outer life, in our inner reality, that it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot to manage, a lot to keep up with for our system, for our subconscious mind, for our emotional bodies, for our energy bodies, for our physical bodies. And sometimes to continue going forward spiritually and in life quickly, the wisest thing to do is to take time to rest and to heal and to replenish yourself. But a lot of it will revolve around you kind of catching up with all of the different, again, internal and external changes you've been going through. Some of you might just feel the intuition to kind of slow down and take some time off. Usually for me, when this happens, nothing's really moving forward for me in my life anyway. And I'm putting maybe a lot of work in and just there's not a lot of accomplishments. I'm feeling kind of scattered in my focus, working hard but accomplishing very little. My buddy, he's not feeling well. He's under the weather. He normally doesn't get sick at all. And he too is taking it kind of as a sign to slow down, unwind, relax. There's an upgrade happening. There's an adjustment period happening right now due to the profound changes we've already been through. It's important to rebalance and to restructure yourself and reground yourself so that we can get ready for another massive leap in consciousness. So if you, my friend, feel the inner calling to slow down and relax, and I highly recommend you do so. The universe will support it. Nothing will really need to get done for a lot of you if this resonates at this time anyway. You can trust that your downtime is in itself productive. Number 2, it's a great time for self-introspection. It's like we've been through a lot. We have a lot coming up ahead, and we're graced here with this little itty bitty lull. And if we can really take time to rest and to contemplate, then we can really be not only more productive going forward, expand ourselves and our lives faster and more abundantly, but also be present with these big positive changes that are coming into our life at this time. It almost doesn't matter what happens to you or what's going on in your life if you're not actually there, grounded in that experience. And it's a great time right now to ground in. Now, what you'll find kind of connected to point number 2 is as you rest, as you ground in and give yourself time and space to contemplate, you might allow for big emotional releases. Some of you might be feeling a bit backed up right now. Like I know for me, my heart feels heavy. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of stuff kind of at the surface, but not quite, that I just feel like it needs to be expressed, but it's just not coming out because, again, I need to kind of take my own advice here. But then if you can give yourself the time and space and ground in, then what you will find is a big, profound emotional transformation is certainly possible at this time. And kind of a funny story that reminds me of this circumstance is a long time ago, I was 19 years old, formerly a heroin addict, an intravenous heroin junkie type guy. And I finally got clean. Congratulations, great, right? Well, what I found is that once I got clean, even though I knew there was so much inner anguish, pain, tears that needed to come out, I went for a full 9 months without being able to shed a tear. I felt emotionally backed up, tremendously so, for a good 9 months. And finally, I was boxing with my buddy Derek. We were sparring in the backyard, one of my roommates, and he punched me in the face real good and knocked me back, and I fell down. I got up, ready to get back into it, and I just burst into an uncontrollable sob fit that lasted for hours. And all my roommates were actually happy for me because they knew I was so concerned with not being able to cry. And a lot of us, that's just a little silly metaphor, but that's the reality for a lot of us because we're so busy. I don't know, I have children, I have obligations. I know a lot of you have a lot on your plate as well. And our normal modern day hustle and bustle lifestyle doesn't oftentimes leave enough room to keep up with our emotional demands of release and whatnot. Especially now, there's so much coming up, so many emotional changes. If we don't take the time and space, then we are going to get really backed up like I was, and it'll come out at some random weird time like it did for me. But if you can just take the time to rest and go in, you can allow these emotions to purge out of you in a much more convenient way. And then you can move on from there feeling refreshed physically, renewed emotionally, and really get to tap into this next powerful, beautiful, exciting leg of your life that's pretty much at the doorstep. Number 3, connecting with the angels. What I mean by that is right now is a really easy time to connect with these really higher dimensional, finer planes of reality that are always there, that exist, that you have a connection with, but it's just not always relevant to constantly be focused way up there in the heavens. But sometimes it can serve us. It can serve us very well, especially if we're going through some stuff. I know for me, I'm not going to get into it because it's a raw wound, but I lost somebody very close to me. And for whatever reason, I was in this other room in my house earlier today, and my wife was playing this new singing bowl set I got her. She's wanted it for so long, and she finally got it, and this woman plays a singing bowl set constantly, all throughout the day, all throughout the house. And she sings, and my wife's a beautiful singer. And anyway, I just walked in, and it felt like I was just lifted up to this angelic plane. Not in this really bizarre, not in this really tangible way, but it's like I felt really like open and connected to the angels. Literally, it felt like the angels were just singing and letting me know this is all just a game, buddy. It's all okay. You're always loved. You're eternal. It's going to be just fine. And just connecting with this legitimate, actual support that is there is very helpful, very comforting, very reassuring. And I normally don't advise people to do this because I find the spiritual community, in my opinion, tends to be way too focused up there. But it does have its place, and right now is a good time, especially if you feel you need it. Maybe you're one who's prayed throughout their life and never really had any, third eye opening experience or mystical encounter. Now is the time to give it another go because you might be surprised. It is real, and it'll happen in everyone's appropriate timing, but right now I would say it's much more likely that you're going to be able to successfully tap into these other realms of reality, and boy, how comforting and wonderful it is to do so. Number 4, all this is leading somewhere, more action-oriented, more future-oriented. But if you do all the things I suggested, which I'm not saying to take my advice, I suspect a lot of you will come into these conclusions on your own and just sort of align yourself naturally as you always have. However, if you roll with these full moon energies appropriately, you'll have a lot more clarity. You'll be able to have so much clarity, in fact, that you won't be able to deny any longer what it is you really desire in life, out of life. What your heart and your soul and your passion actually wants will be more obvious than ever, and you won't be able to deny it. The universe is not going to let you, because the things that you really want from the deepest part of you are possible, are likely, are in your cards. But we have to really get on board and take it seriously for that to really start to manifest. Otherwise, we experience repetitive cycles of sort of just pushing away and disappointment in the things that we don't want in life continuing to happen, because we're creating that to get us off our butt and say, you want this. Why aren't you going for this? I know, easier said than done, I know. An example of this is sometimes we will attract little aggravations or annoyances or problems or patterns that all seem to carry a similar theme. And you can't help but wonder and scratch your head and say, why? Why? This feels like the universe is just messing with me, picking on me. Why me? It's to help you admit to yourself, you don't like this. And these things coming into your life, well, they're connected with this situation you feel and think you are stuck in, but you're not. For me, as I shared in an email recently, when I started to feel like it was time to move on from my gym and close down this gym business I had and put years into, it was time to move on at some point. And what happened is the gym kept flooding. There was this drain in the middle of the floor that for whatever reason kept freaking flooding the whole gym, and I'd have to take up the AstroTurf, all the mats. Me and my trainers have to lift these heavy, damp, wet, soaking wet mats and move them and put them outside in the sun and mop up all the water and turn the fans on. We had clients coming in working on the cement floor, working out on the cement floor, and it was like, God, what a pain in the ass. We thought this is BS, and it just kind of kept happening. Right? And around that same time, clients started dropping off. Just for whatever reason, their contract ended, they were moving. It just seemed like we lost a lot of our core clients in a very short span of time. Parallel, it was harder to get clients. Our promotions weren't working. We weren't closing anybody. It was like, man, give us a break, universe. And at that time, I started to really see more clearly that I don't have it in me to do what it needs to take to keep this machine going. The passion, the drive, it was gone. And I was increasingly more and more feeling dissatisfied and burnt out. And anyway, when we're in these cycles like this, it's very easy to slip into the victim mentality and think, why is the universe picking on me? But it's the universe giving you awareness, shedding light onto the fact that you're better than this. You can do better than this. You want to do better than this. You actually want something other than what's going on in your life, and that is why you're attracting these little motivators from the universe to get off your behind and make it happen. And number 5, very much married to number 4 and connected to aligning your life situation with your new vibration. A lot of us have made big shifts already. And right now, as I mentioned, is a time of kind of grounding in, settling in, stabilizing, making more permanent, grounded this new frequency. And as you do that, there'll be emotional release for a lot of you. You'll be healing, you're letting go. It'll be a relief though. There'll be tears of release and you'll feel fantastic. And then it's like inevitable. Then if you've done too much work at that point to where you can't expect life just to stay the same. No, you've changed so much. You've stabilized this new energy. It's time to move on. It's time to move up. It's time to upgrade. Whatever situation in your life is currently breaking down. It's funny, I posted this comment on my YouTube. I can chat with you guys a little bit on my YouTube page. And I said, hey guys, I'm gonna be making some videos pretty soon. What would you like to hear about? Any topic suggestions? And I think there's 1 or 2 at the top that pertain to quitting your job and trusting the universe. And it had a whole bunch, I think the most likes. And I was like, wow, interesting. So my point is, you'll start to feel like it's time to move on, time to move out, time to move, time to switch careers, time to ask your boss for a raise, time to go out there and pursue and give love another shot and start dating, whatever it is, when you're ready. And right now, my friend, if you resonate with this, if you relate with any of the things I said, you are ready. And it's an opportunity where you really can upgrade yourself. The universe will support this type of movement. You can no longer hold yourself back from pursuing the things that matter to you. Now is the time to let go of what you don't like, obviously, more obviously than ever, and go towards the things that light you up, the things that make you feel like there's a resonance. Like my body seems to sync up harmoniously with this idea, with this pursuit, with this new chapter, with this new job. But my mind says, oh no, what about this? And there's like the resistance. Now is not the time to listen to your mind. Your mind's just gonna spin you in circles, as it probably has a lot already. It's a time to listen to your body. That doesn't lie. That resonance is like your soul, literally your higher self saying, this is your truth. This is compatible. And what we all know, when there's a compatibility, when the energy is compatible, that's when we flourish. And that's what I said to someone I know was asking about this. They were asking about moving, kind of insinuating I want to move. There's this other place, this other idea of life that just calls to me, it speaks to me, and she was lit up as she was talking about it. And I explained that I've been through this transition many times with everything, with careers, relationships, moving, obviously, just moved a month ago. And what I found is anytime we do this realignment thing and we adjust our lifestyle to be more of a match, to be more in resonance with who we have become, we flourish, we thrive, we expand. New opportunities, relationships, more money, more abundance, more flow, more ease, better health. Everything is you get like an expanded version of your former life on all levels, because there's harmony, there's energetic congruency and support. And when we hold on to what's not serving us, there's dissonance. And that's where these little pain in the ass situations keep coming from, to say, you're holding yourself back, buddy. Why? Now's not the time to hold yourself back, my friend. Now's the time to go for it. Now's the time to allow yourself to expand. And before I go, my friends, to help you with that, one of the things I said about connecting with the divine, connecting with the angels, I know that can be difficult for some people if they haven't had that type of experience. So I created a free meditation. It's a guided meditation. You can find it below. And it's specifically designed to help you connect with your higher self. You just got to listen to it, pop it in. It's got good music. It's my voice. It's a channeled. The content is completely inspired and channeled, and it'll help you out in that area big time. It's totally free. It's a gift. Check it out down below. There's a link at the top of the description box there. I'll also pin a comment as well. Check it out if that's something you want to do. And with that said, have an amazing day, my friends. I'll be seeing you soon. Much love. Peace.